Hey everyone, this is Vaughn with Spirit of Health. I'm a naturopath and herbalist, owner of Spirit of Health. I got my good friend here, Brandon, who is an expert on many different superfoods, and he works for a company called Thrival. And we are going to talk today about colostrum. Colostrum is a very powerful substance, a powerful nutritious food, and I love talking about colostrum and taking colostrum because it has more biologically active components than any other known substance, at least that we know of so far. When I think of superfoods, we think of spirulina, we think of chlorella, even powerful foods like eggs and fish, or royal jelly, which has so many amazing hormonal components. But I think colostrum is really powerful because of all the immune system components and just all the other constituents in colostrum that make it so powerful. Colostrum is the first milk that comes from the animal, whether it's human or another mammal. It's the first nutrition that infant or young would receive. What's neat about it is that the first few weeks of a newborn's life, the gut is actually permeable. So when the colostrum goes in, it has all the nutrients and all the antibodies from the mother. So basically everything the mother's already dealt with and fought off, all those antibodies are going straight to the baby. That gives it a great jump start in life and also starts to build that baby's immune system. So the reason their gut's permeable is so that nutrition and those antibodies can get throughout the entire system of the newborn, giving them the best chance for a start at life. So I am very passionate about colostrum. I've actually gotten colostrum straight from grass-fed cows here, and I have found parents who maybe are adopting or they couldn't breastfeed for some reason, and it's very powerful to be able to give that colostrum to a newborn if they weren't able to get it from their mother. Brandon's really the expert when it comes to colostrum, and so I wanted to ask him a few questions about it so that you can understand a little bit more about the power of colostrum. And I guess the first question I'd ask is, quality is obviously a big deal when it comes to anything, especially anything with nutrition, because we know there's good quality and bad quality. And so with colostrum and a lot of people knowing about colostrum and the benefits of colostrum, tell me why quality is so important.
Well, quality is incredibly important with any food and any organism, including ourselves. We're exposed to more and more industrial pollution, heavy metals, pesticides. So it's really important to get high quality colostrum from cows that are in a good environment. And also I'd like to add on to that quality has to do with actual raw material too, because a lot of colostrum on the market is, transitional milk. True colostrum is within a window of 6 hours of the baby being born. So that's important to know, that a lot of colostrum that's being marketed as colostrum is not actual true colostrum, rather it's transitional milk. And a lot of times it's been defatted, so it kind of looks powdery,
Yeah, I noticed that because I've used a lot of colostrum before. I know the benefits of it. We can't always get fresh colostrum, so I'll get the powdered source and give it to people. And I know it's got all these amazing constituents into it, but your colostrum, it's different. So why is yours different? What's different about it?
It's really all about the process. We work with Dr. Kleinsmith, and he has been a farmer his whole life, and he's worked with dairy cows specifically. And really, when we harvest the milk, it goes through a special spray dry process where all the fat is maintained. Now, this is really important because there's a lot of disinformation on the internet about how all the IGF family of growth factors are not absorbable orally, because of hydrochloric acid, right? Hydrochloric acid denatures protein chains and breaks them down in amino acids. Well, because the chymosin and the fats are intact through our process, this gives it a protection or a barrier around it, so it is able to transport through the body, through the hydrochloric acid and into the digestive tract safely and effectively, transporting those growth factors and immune factors into the body.
Cool. So I think another question I would have, and people might be wondering, is obviously a human being would ideally get colostrum from mom, which would make the most sense.
Absolutely.
And if that's not possible, and we can only get colostrum from a cow, a bovine source, would there be a lot of benefit to a human being to do cow-based colostrum? And is a human being going to be able to absorb and utilize the nutrients, from that source?
Oh, absolutely. It's all the benefits, nutrients, growth factors, immune factors, everything in the colostrum is 100% transferable to the human organism. So even if we have eaten our mother's colostrum and absorbed that and had a healthy, robust immune system, we actually receive a lot of benefits from the growth factors as far as an anti-aging level, as far as a regenerative level. And also I'd like to note that farmers back in the day, when they were exposed to, they were working the farm, they were exposed to the same viruses and bacteria in the environment as the cow. And because they would take the colostrum and because they would take the raw milks from the cow, they would actually get those immune factors and those antiviral substances into their body. So it protects us against what's currently going on in the ecosystem, which is really interesting.
Yeah, so I guess that makes sense, because I would think colostrum, it's the first milk you get for the infant or the young mammal. Why would we take it later? Why would I take it when I'm in my 20s or my 30s or my 50s or whatever? And I know the power of it building the immune system, and obviously you can take it and build your immune system anytime. Doesn't matter how old you are. And in fact, you probably, I would think, want to have people take it who have a compromised immune system, or maybe they have an autoimmune condition going on, or something
absolutely.
like that. Can you speak on that maybe a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Not to mention all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and fats, but there's a lot of glyconutrients, which are essential sugars. It's essential because our body doesn't make them, and we require them from an outside source. So these are what modulate the immune system or regulate it. So if we're in an autoimmune condition, it happens to calm that right down to the right level. If our immune system's sluggish, it boosts it up. So it has a double directional effect in our system. And it's just one of those things, there was the fat phobias that happened, several years ago. Fats are bad. We're finding out, some fatty acids are essential fatty acids, just like sugars. Sugars kind of getting a bad rap. Don't eat sugars. Everybody's avoiding sugars, but there's essential glyconutrients that are super important for immune modulation.
Right.
And those are contained in colostrum, and that's why you'd want to take it on that level. And by the way, a quick little fun fact, people are getting really great results with these growth factors in the colostrum by making a face cream.
Oh,
it's called the Colostrum Facial. It's really kind of interesting.
Okay.
So
I hadn't actually heard of that.
yeah, it's actually, you can create a face mask, make a toothpaste consistency with it, and it just regenerates tissue so well. As we age, obviously we break down faster than we build up. So colostrum is just a really great addition to kind of help with the rejuvenation process.
I think a question that people might want to know is, and that I'm curious about, is what all people do you think can benefit from colostrum? I guess what pops off the top of my head is obviously children or babies who need to build an immune system, people who probably exercise a lot or work out, or athletes because of the growth factors. And I guess the other thing I think of is I read a book, I think it was called Liquid Gold, and it talked about the benefits of the colostrum on the thymus, which is where the T cells and a lot of the immune system components are built. So people who are immunocompromised. Are there any other groups of people that you can think of? Would those kind of be the main ones?
Those would be the main ones, and anybody at any age can really benefit. The anti-aging, the IGF-1 superfamily of growth factors are really critical for producing human growth hormone, which is an anti-aging hormone.
Right.
It also helps to regulate, it helps train our body to run on fats versus sugars too, which is really interesting.
Well, so correct me if I'm wrong, because the human growth hormone, a lot of people maybe have heard that, but they're not overly familiar with it. I guess, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not just people who are like failure to thrive and can't grow, or athletes or bodybuilders that want to lift a bunch of muscle. When it comes to human growth hormone, it's not just for those two groups of people. It's for everybody, right?
Absolutely. We all require it to thrive. And that's why at Survival we have a colostrum of this grade and this quality, so you can actually get those growth factors in the system. So you have a full spectrum of growth factors too. Think about that, 87 different growth factors.
Wow.
In that superfamily. That's, a complete growth factor ratio. So your body can basically create whatever tissue it needs. So yeah, if you're working out, obviously you're going to want those gains, and you're going to want the extra performance from the hormones. But just as a natural part of aging, our hormones decline, and to boost those back up and feel that level of creativity and vitality and just passion for life, it's just really great to add in these substances that kind of stack those odds in our favor.
Cool. Can we look at it?
Sure. Yeah, and there's kind of a noticeable difference. It has this kind of vitamin A color, you know, orangey yellow, and it kind of clumps a little bit because it's full of
yeah, it's almost kind of sticky. It's not, you can tell it's not just the dried powder that just kind of floats away. It's kind of got a stickier substance.
Yeah,
so.
and those really white colostrums that don't have the yellow tinge to it, that aren't, you know, that are very dry and gritty, you can really tell that they don't have, you know, they're transitional milks more so than actual colostrum. And we actually have 2,300 nanograms per gram of IGF-1 in our colostrum, which is huge, and it has about 24% polypeptide concentration.
Great.
Which is really pretty huge for having like a full fat, full non-concentrated colostrum.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Brandon. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and you get excited about trying some colostrum. Obviously, a lot of people and really anyone can benefit from the power of colostrum.